So it's later in the day, Tuesday the 28th of January, from the two earlier videos I did on last night's ceremony, about the Bosnian girl with who had the witch on board. Dobie was right. I was sat outside my tambo, sunbathing, and meditating on my trees, just running a line through my head along, naming the three trees: Kuma Seba, Camu Camu Gigante, Waka Purana, connect to me, protect me, just over and over whilst sunbathing. And she walked along the edge of the Maloka. Hi, Steve. Oh, how are you? Yeah, good. How are you? I said, what are you doing? I said, I'm meditating. Because I've only meditated for about 20 minutes today so far. That was the second 10 minutes. Anyway, she disturbed me. But I wasn't going to continue talking. I just, meditating. And she said, oh, I hear you have a message for me. I said, who told you that? And she said, oh, the others said you had a message for me. And of course I didn't. So I'm a bit annoyed at that group now, or certainly the woman who I told, because she was the one who was angry with her. So she's probably gone back, because she said to me, oh, you should tell her when you see her. I said, it's not my place to tell her. I'm telling you. In other words, your fucking group, you go and fucking tell her if you want, or tell the rest at least, so at least they know what the reason was for her behaviour in ceremony. But they've fucking thrown it back on me. But it's also probably a test just to handle it or just ignore it. And and it gets you thinking about that kind of narcissistic element. Oh, I want attention. Oh, and you've got a message for me, I've been told. I mean, she could be, sort of saying that. But anyway, I didn't take it further at the time. I just shut my eyes again and I said, I'll catch you another time. So she wandered off. But then it did break my meditation, because then obviously I was thinking about it, sort of how to handle it, thinking, should I just go and talk to her and but I thought, no, I'm not going to, because I don't want to scare the girl either, it's not my place. I've had the vision and the information, but she's only done 12 ceremonies, and I would like to know more on the one hand, because I want to know the backstory of what Papa Julio said, how she became involved with the Shipibo, to have had a medicinal, or had a drink from them, probably under the guise of medicine, that was hexed. So, but then there's another part of me just say, I can't be fucked with that group, because they've been not been the happiest group, or amongst themselves seemingly the first few days. But then like I said, there's probably good reason for that. They probably got a bit of an intuition, and of course that definitely would have made things awkward the day after the ceremony, and then whether it was resolved in their sharing circle, but it's really not my business. And I only want to know the backstory, because I'd love to know what she was doing, whether she was in a retreat somewhere where, see, the thing is, the Shipibo do actually give plant medicines in many cases as part of their ayahuasca retreats. They give plant medicine every day as well, or some days, or depending, for certain people, that kind of thing. Whereas Lighthouse doesn't do that with any of the shamans, whether they're Shipibo or Kakama. They don't give plant medicines. So, that's, from my perspective, probably the most likely place where it came from, unless she went private, or she's met someone in the street at a stall selling fucking plant medicines, and this person's been a witch and flogged her a drink to get some money, and then decided, fuck it, gringo, I'll hex it. This is what I want to know, because it's fascinating. Because she's only done 12 ceremonies. I'd like to know how many she's done, either in Peru and elsewhere, where they were, whether there's any in the States, what the story is. Because it was nasty. It was a nasty business, to have a hex like that, of that strength, put on somebody in a drink, is really fucking horrible. So I would like to know the story. And from her perspective, she's very bright and breezy, and she's a nice girl. But I don't want to fucking be the one responsible, especially in their group, because they might make a complaint and say, "Oh, Steve told one of our members," and then you've got to be really careful with this stuff, because they could go and complain to Christian or some of the other members of the family, and cause a bit of an issue. They might come and say to me, "You shouldn't be talking to a client about what your visions are," when they tell them that they got a witch on board. But then because if the shamans don't feel the need to tell them, it's not down to me. But then I'm a Westerner, and the shamans aren't, so they've got that cross-cultural barrier as well as Western mentality barrier, and they don't know anything about that. So it's just I just thought I'd mention it, because it's what Bobby said was correct. She wants to talk to you, and obviously now she knows that there's a message. That's her own interest point of view, but it's also the witch on board or whatever is trying to use it as an excuse. And I was then running through, if I was sitting down to talk to her, she reached out and go, "Thanks for," I'd have to just politely say, like the other woman said to me, "No touching, you're on a dieta," and use their own fucking rules against them.